Hello, guys. I'm doing this again. This is episode 2 of the Black Recluse. Take 4, I think. Every time I start going off rails. So I'm going to try to stay on track this time. How are you doing? So yesterday I put out my first video telling a little bit about myself. Not much. I know I get into ramblings. I go off. If I ever wrote a book, I always said I'd call it rambling. Or look at that, I don't even fucking remember the name of my book. It's horrible. I would call it Branches because I branch off so much. But today me and Orphan Robin, we were sitting here and he was like, "Holy gee willikers, black man, what should we do for this video?" And I was like, you know what, Robin? We should get some things so we look a lot more sophisticated, right? He's like, well, that sounds like a good plan. Black man. To the Blackmobile. Anyway, so I got some books out here that I'm currently in the middle of reading. Writing guide and everything like that. I'm trying to write a novel. It's a horror novel. I hope it does well. Today I wrote out the structure of it. I've already started it, but I needed to write out the structure, the chapters and everything, so I can make sure I know where I'm going with it and everything like that. I don't want to just be writing and then figure out things later that I want to put in different places, because that's what I keep doing. I'm like, well, maybe I should put more on this part and lessen this part up a little bit, and maybe this part should be more toward later in the book, and this should be fleshed out a little more. So I decided I'm going to structure this first, and then that way I can start over, or not necessarily start over, but I can take what I've already written down and make it more and flesh it out a little more, put things in different places to really give this book its own life, really, its own heart. So, I thought I'd make it look a little nicer. I'm not complete trash. I may be homeless, but I'm not trash, okay? That's one thing you gotta love yourself, all right? Doesn't matter where you're at in life, you got to love yourself. So I love to learn, I love to, read, I love to create things and stuff like that. These videos right now are gonna be just straightforward, me talking, just bullshit, da 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 da, because I don't know crap about editing. I'm gonna try to edit some videos. Hopefully, I can get good at it. But I'm working on a little laptop right now, so I know it's gonna take me forever to do. But yeah, so hopefully I can start editing the videos, make them a little more palatable to the eye, and the ear. I want people to listen. Even if you don't watch me, I want you, just something people can just throw on and listen to in the background. But I think today's episode is going to be a little bit about, finding happiness and where I've come so far with, why I even started this. I started this because, I'm not good at adulting. I'm not. I've worked many jobs. I started a family. I lost my family. All that crap. Wow, I look like crap. I need a facelift or something. I don't know. But finding true happiness, this is what made me believe that God is real. I know I have this book back here about Muslims. That's just because I want to learn more about all the different religious texts. I want to read the Book of Buddha. I have a Book of Mormon in storage. I have the Quran in storage. I have the first edition of King James's Bible or whatever. It's in storage. I have to get it, get stuff out of storage soon. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose that, which sucks because I'm always losing stuff. I always have to start over, which I don't want to do that again. But pretty much finding true happiness. And I used to be an atheist growing up. I was an atheist for a good portion of my life, and I became agnostic. I'd say around like my 20s. I became agnostic, and the reason for that is because back when I was around, I'd say about 21, 22, I was working at the plasma center ZLB before it became CSL. I was working at ZLB Plasma Center, and twice this happened to me. One day I was going to work. I lived in Minneapolis, and I was going to work on the bus, the 16, and this lady is preaching on the side of the road, and she jumps on the bus. I'm sitting all the way in the back. This is morning, during rush hour. Bus is crowded. I'm sitting all the way in the back, last seat on the right hand side. I'm looking out the window, and I catch eye contact with this lady, well-off woman. White woman, long blonde hair, wearing a full red, get up, like red pants, her red peacoat, red hat, and she just looks at me. Her eyes get all widened, and she takes all of her stuff and puts it over the side, like she's out there by herself. And she takes all of her stuff and just moves over to the side, jumps on the bus, pays the fare, and squeezes through everyone to get back to me. And she sits next to me, and she talks about how God is looking for me, and he's trying to find me, and he wants me to talk to him, and he wants to talk to me, or whatever. It was years ago. I can't remember the exact thing she said, but she went like one block and then jumped off the bus. And me and the people on the bus started like laughing about it and making fun of it, but I like thought about it, like, what the fuck? So then another time, this probably like a year later, same place, same bus, same time, but different person. It was a heavyset black guy, homeless, and he was asking people for change, asking people for money. In the same spot on the bus again, bus is crowded, and people standing up all the way to the back because all the seats are taken. And I look out the window, catch eye contact with this guy, and his eyes again just widen. He jumps on the bus, pays his fare with like the little change that he's gotten from people, comes all the way to the back to me and tells me, and like shakes my hand and tells me that he's been looking for me, and God is looking for me, and he's so happy that he was able to meet me and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to like put myself up on a pedestal, because I don't really think shit about myself. I live in a motorhome, for goodness sake. So I'm not anybody to like be inspired by, I guess you'd say. But it just like really, really hit me like that time, like, why the hell did this keep happening? And again, he jumped off the bus and just like stood there and just like watched the bus pass, just like watched me as the bus drove off. And that time I didn't make fun of him or anything like we did with the lady, but I really thought about it. And then what really hit was me and my best friend Yvonne. Love her to death. But before I quit drinking hard alcohol, I quit drinking hard alcohol 4 years ago by choice. Didn't go to any class or anything. It's just I wanted to quit. But we were playing blackjack one day for shots, and didn't matter if she dealt the cards, didn't matter if I dealt the cards. I kept getting the number 15, and if I tried to hit again, I'd go over and I'd take another shot. And she brought it up, said, "That's weird. You keep getting the number 15." So we looked up on Google like what numbers mean, and in a greater view, and we looked it up, and we found that it said that when the number 15 is shown to someone over and over and over again, it means that God is trying to communicate with this person. And it said, and it was really freaky, because it says usually it's the person is a person who doesn't necessarily believe in God, but the person is a person who doesn't necessarily believe in God, and they're very reluctant to seek God out, but they have a like underlying uh, well, how would you say, an underlying interest in knowing whether or not he's real, and that stood out to me. But the part that really freaked both of us out, and I told her to shut the fucking thing down. I was like, nope, I don't want to hear nothing else. Is it gets to a point in the writing, and it says this person, usually, um, these people, or this person, most of the time, or something like that. I need to go look it up again because it was very freaky. But it said something along the lines of this person's firstborn child will be born on the 14th day of the 8th month. No bullshit, swear. This is what it said. Now, I have 4 kids. My oldest daughter is not mine by blood. You know, I love her to death. I've been taking care of her since before she was even born, when she was just in the womb. Me and her mother were together. But my first child ever, my first daughter's birthday, you guessed it, is August 14th. Freakiest shit in the world. I was like, nope, can't do it. And that's right there is what turned me, that's what turned me agnostic. I became agnostic after that, and I said, there's probably something, this religious thing, but I don't know. And I want to find out. So I became agnostic. I started looking into different religious texts and things like that, just to see if I could find something, if something could grasp me. And when I read the King James Bible, I read about Abraham, and it reminded me a lot about my life and how I see life, and it gets me thinking sometimes, like, am I really somebody that God is trying to get a hold of? Somebody God is trying to connect to? Because when I read about Abraham and his trials and tribulations, like, that's how my life feels. Like, no matter how much good I do, it's like I always have to sacrifice something. I always have to lose something to be happy again. Like, it's the weirdest thing in the world. Like, I always say that I have the shittiest good luck, in the world, because bad things have to happen to me in order for something good to happen. But at the same time, I have always lived by my morals. Like, I try not to let life break me to the point that I lose my own morals. And I feel like everybody should live that way. Like, and I also feel like people will try to break you from your morals. Like, when you seem like you're a genuinely good person, it's almost as if people can't believe that. So they purposely do things, and sometimes I'd say they don't even purposely do it. It's just like a subconscious thing where they can't really accept that somebody can be such a genuine person and try to be trustworthy and good-hearted to them and everything like that, and try to be loyal to them as a friend, to where it bothers them to the point to where they sabotage things in your life to see if they can break you. And I've had a lot of people do this. I've had a lot of people, like, just treat me like shit, who I've tried to show complete loyalty to and try to be like the best friend they've ever had, and they will just treat me like shit. And but I don't let that break me. I don't let it take away my morals. I try to stay a good person through and through. I don't seek revenge. I'm the first person to forgive someone. I don't try to resent people. Even if I start to resent or start to envy someone, I'll pull myself back and say, whoa, it's not you. Stop it. Whoa, bro. Because I feel like that's what they want. They want me to become resentful. They want me to become envious. They want me to break myself and be who they want, or who they think everyone should be. It's a crazy thing to even fathom. But the way I found God was, and I was agnostic for a while, but I'd say about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was on the door of suicide. I was stringing up the noose, had it strung up, and it took me. I really wanted to do it without telling anybody, but I could not bring myself to do it without at least saying goodbye to my kids. And I knew that if I sent a message or called or something and just said I want them to know that I love them, that my ex would talk me out of it, which she did, because I sent her a message saying just tell the kids I always love them and everything like that. And she ended up calling me. I like ignored it for a while. And this is another thing I say, like, I believe in signs, is as I'm about to do it, like I'm sitting here fumbling with the news thing, and my phone opened up because I almost dropped my phone, and I went and I tried to like catch it, and I'm fumbling with it, and it opened up to YouTube, and it opened up to the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Opened up to The Outer Worlds being an Epic Games exclusive. And this is what saved me. This is literally what saved me from doing it. Because my ex, she didn't respond. Or she was trying to call me at first. And then I was like, I wouldn't answer, so she just stopped. And this is about like half an hour later after I see this. And I watched this video. I think it was from the Quartering. Shout out Jeremy. I know he doesn't know who I am, but shout out to him if he ends up watching this. But it was talking about how PC gamers were gonna boycott the Outer Worlds in Obsidian because they went Epic Games exclusive for like a year. And I had a problem with this. So instead of like going through with hanging myself, I decided to make a video real quick. And that's on my other channel, The Lonely Vagabond. And it was about like me trying to tell PC gamers not to boycott the company. Like if you're gonna boycott Epic Games and the Epic Games store or whatever, buy the Outer Worlds on console, because these guys are really trying to make a Fallout for the fans, and for Fallout 76 to fail with that, I think the Outer Worlds is really for the fans. And I feel like when a company goes out on a whim and puts all the resources into making something for the fans, there's the money aspect to it, and they need to make money, but at the same time they're doing it for the fans. Like they look at it like, okay, if we make money off of this, we do. But at the same time, we really just want to do this for the fans. I feel like that's the type of respect that we as gamers need to give credit to. And yes, people are mad that they did an Epic Store exclusive, but don't punish. And again, it wasn't. I don't even think it was Obsidian. I think it was Take-Two, because everybody knows Take-Two. They're money hungry, they're greedy, and Epic Games said, "Oh, we'll give you more profit than Valve will." So it was them who did it. So why would you punish the developers of Obsidian because their publisher did something that they didn't want to do? And while I was trying to make this video, she kept trying to call. She called like 3 times. I had to keep restarting the video and ignoring her call and restarting the video. And finally I just picked up because she wouldn't stop calling. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm making a video." She's like, "You better not be making a video for what I think you're going to do." And actually, I was going to do what she thought I was going to do. I was going to make the video, and then at the end of the video, I was going to hang myself. And that would have been the outro, and it would have been my last video of just like boom, and then just like fucking around with the news and shit, and then just hanging myself and letting it play out until it fucking. And then I thought about that, like, how do I upload this? I can't even upload this. So then I was going to do that, and then it was a whole thing. I had it thought out, but it didn't go the way I planned it. But she talked me out of it, and after that, the next day I find, and I mean, I'm broke, I have no money. The next day I find a bus card that I found on the ground, and this thing was good for another like 2-3 months. So that was awesome. So that means that I'll have a better chance of finding a job without having to worry about spending money on the bus. And then that same day, I went to a bar to go see an old friend of mine I hadn't seen in like 2 years that I used to talk to at the bar all the time, my friend Curtis. But turned out he wasn't going to be there until later. He didn't get off work till 11, and it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. So I decided to stay, have a couple beers, and I got into a conversation with a bunch of people. And there was this blind black guy that came in. I didn't even know he was blind. He was sitting across from me, and I'm sitting there talking about politics. I'm talking about books. I'm talking about depression. I'm talking about just everything. And I go outside, and I was there for like an hour or two. I go outside to have a cigarette, and this guy comes out, Daryl, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come to my house?" And I'm thinking there's like after party. I'm like, "Hey, why not?" Because I'm always fucking alone. I want to go to an after party. So I go to this guy's house, and his friend just dropped us off. It was just me and him, and I thought that like other people were coming to the house, and so it was just me and him. And then that's when I found out he was blind. Tells me he's blind, and that he heard me talking, and heard my intellect and everything like that. So he decided to invite me over so we could conversate. So I was like, cool. From that, we sit down on the couch. It was like the funniest thing. We sit down, and he just like his eyes just widen. He's like, "Oh wow, you're black," and it was like the funniest shit because he's black, but he didn't know I was black. He thought I was a white guy, and that was like funny as shit. He just thought that from my intellect and everything, I was just like a white guy, which really tells you something about the world. Like even black people, if you speak intelligently, they just automatically think you're white. But anyway, so I meet them, become friends with this guy, and everything just starts going up. Like everything just starts getting better. Like then him and his friend invited me out to Eau Claire, and we went to a gay bar out there. His friend was gay. He is the guy who I met turned out he was bisexual and everything. But he was blind, so he just kind of went to his gay bars he used to know, like the one we went out to in Eau Claire. I guess he was going to buy it 30 years ago, but a friend of his bought it. Long story, blah, blah, blah. But I went out there, and I've been, like I said in the last video, I've been struggling with my bisexual, bipartisan, if you will, urges and everything like that. So I went out there, had a great time. Got hit on a lot. I've never been told that I was like gorgeous and beautiful so much in my life than I had at that bar. Like it made me feel so good. Like I've never felt that good. Like just everybody, it didn't matter. Female, male, gerbil, didn't matter. All of them were just like, "You are a beautiful person." That was the gerbil. I don't know. Even gerbils. But anyway, it just, everything, I was so happy. And this is how I found, like, this is why I just always pray for happiness. Like, since I started praying, I don't pray for anything else. I pray for happiness. And anything good that comes to me, I thank it. I thank God, or I thank the Creator, or whatever this thing is that apparently watches over us. I just thanked it because like for that to happen, and that's why I always say like suicide is not really worth it, because like just like the night prior to that, I could have been gone and nothing could have came of this. I could have been gone and I could have not experienced any of that. And when we got back from Eau Claire, we went to the bar and I met a guy that I haven't seen for years. And me and him went and played pool. And, we had such a camaraderie and just so much fun. And I just like could not control it. I was so overcome with joy that I just started crying at the bar around all these freaking people. So embarrassing. And that was another thing that made me think that he was real, is because at the moment that I was crying for like 45 minutes, an hour, I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed as shit. I wanted to run out the bar. I wanted to leave and never come back. But after it subsided, all of that embarrassment left, and I like spoke of what just happened, and how it was uncontrollable and how much joy it was, and just talked to people at the bar about it, and had a great night anyway. And the bartender cut me off because he was like, you know what, I can't, I wasn't drunk or anything. And I understood is he was like, even if you say you're not drunk, I can give you a drink and then bad shit can happen and blah, 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 and I can't take that. So I was like, cool. But I ended up staying there for like another hour and hanging out with people and talking and having a good time. And it was like great. And so that's kind of what I mean about finding happiness. You have to find happiness within yourself. I know I've just trailed off so many times, but my main point is no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how bad your life seems at the time, you have to just find happiness. Just find happiness in something. Just something like just the smallest the littlest things that can count as happiness and can make you super happy. And that's what happened to me. Just like the just hanging out with this guy playing pool and just talking and stuff and getting my ass kicked. He whooped my ass every time. I think we played like 10 times and I didn't beat him until the last time. But it made me so happy. I lost all my money that night. We weren't betting, but just like paying for the pool table, all the money I had on it, I just kept on paying because it was like we were having so much fun. I didn't care that I was going home broke. I didn't care. It was just, it was about the experience and just hanging out with this guy and having fun, and it was just great. And so I implore everyone, anybody who sees this, who is having a hard time in life, anyone who sees this, who is still struggling to know if they should accept religion or God or anything like that. And this is another thing too, is what I was saying, like just because you accept religion or you accept that God is real, like I'm not gonna be out here preaching to people. I don't care if you're an atheist or you're agnostic, and I don't care. I still love you. We can still be friends. We can still talk about the stuff that I used to talk about when I was agnostic, when I was an atheist. Like it doesn't change anything. It just, all it changes is my view of it. That's it. It only changes my view. But the only reason I tell the story is because if there's somebody out there who is just like me, maybe I can get them to realize it like at a younger age than I did. Like I'm not giving my age, but I'm up there. I already did. I know people have done the math. But if you can do the math from my last video, I'll be 396 months in July. So if you can do that, that's how old I am. But what I'm saying is if somebody can find that a lot sooner than I did and find true happiness with themselves, it can maybe help them. And that's all I hope for. I hope I can help somebody really find happiness in their own life and actually, say fuck it and just go for things. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going for it, man. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know where I want to take this. I don't even know if this is going to work, but I'm going to keep trying. Like, I got myself out of the bed today, just so I can get up and make this video. Because I was like, I can't, if I'm going to start, I got to keep going. That's what happened to the Lost Vagabond, or the Lonely Vagabond, is I made 4 videos. I kept looking at them every day, seeing they weren't getting any views, and I just gave up. I can't do that. If I want this to work, if I want to make sure something catches on, I can't give up. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Don't give up. I'm working on a novel right now. I'm working on a memoir right now because I have a lot of crazy stories. Hopefully I can tell you some of those stories later. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, share the video, tell your friends. Comment, please. I want to talk to some people. I love you. Sorry for this getting so long. See you guys later.